Having fun yet? You know, if you're not having fun, you should be doing something else. Welcome back to JoshE's World, and I am Josh. I know I promised something different, and, yeah, the experimental thing I promised, it did not work well. It was bad. So I tried to do something that was more like a critical thinking exercise, and that blew up in my face. And so I sat down and I thought, you know, when I first started this channel, what did I want to do? And it was, I wanted to understand or help people understand their fit in society and help people understand why others in society may think differently than them. It's really kind of my fascination. The idea of decision making is just interesting to me. So, you know, I have come up with a theory of it's like assigning a personality type to a society, right? I call it societal ideological identity. I know it's a mouthful, but it's basically what it is. And when I first tried to do this, talk about this whole concept, I tried to do it from the most core, basic human thought, you know, how decisions are made, how people process thought, and try to work up, and that wasn't going to work well. It wasn't. So I sat down and I really worked out my theory on this, and really developed it. And I have it well crafted-ish to kind of explain a society, the personality of a society. You know, the personality traits a society has. And then you can look at yourself and decide when you're in a group or what societal group you would want to have these type of things in. Because really, let's discuss society. What is a society? You know, that's really when we start, that's the most broad concept to start with, is you have to really decide what is defined as a society. And to me, really, a society is where you have interaction between different people. Really, it could be a couple, two people, a person and their significant other. It's as simple as that, as a simple society, and it has its own societal personality. To as big as you could basically say the entire population of the world is one large society, and within it, it has its own societal personality, or societal ideological identity. So now that we understand that a society can be as small as two people or as large as everybody, you know, we have to start to go, well, ideology. Ideology is kind of that, you know, a basic set of ideals and beliefs. And the terms like left wing and right wing are thrown around with ideology a lot. What does it really mean? What does it mean to be on the left side of an ideology as opposed to the right side? So it's basically these ideology concepts that build the personality of the society. And I've identified 5 factors that we'll break up and we'll go into to identify these different personality traits and how to measure them and things like that. But that's for the next video. We gotta slow down a little bit there. Okay, so what is truly at the core basics of concepts, what is an ideology? To me, it's an ideology is simply when someone sits down and they look at their society whether it be a couple or everybody, again. And they say, how can I make this a utopia? How can I get rid of all the injustice I see? Right? And there's different measures and methods, different injustice that people see, even. That kind of, in your groups, in your societies, start to work out and try to form these more utopian viewpoints. Smaller groups can get to utopia. I truly think that. But if you listen to the experts and things, utopia is unachievable. But as I'm going to explain throughout this series that I'm doing here on this, that utopia just becomes harder the more people that are involved. Because the more people that are involved within a society, the more social ideological identities people have. We try to find people with the same social ideological identity as we do, right? And so the most basic concept of that is left wing and right wing, like I said. But what does that really mean, left wing and right wing? That's kind of where I wanted to explore a little bit today. And we'll break down each individual trait and characteristic and the extremities of the right and left wing ideological traits that I'm going to call them. Because, if you think about what we're doing, is kind of like the Big Five personality adjustment, but we're going to do it for a society. So this is going to be fun and interesting. But again, we're going to get back to this left-wing and right-wing ideology and the idea of utopia, right? Okay, so the idea is, if you're a left-wing person, the most extreme idea of left-wing ideologies, or just kind of your left-leaning ideology, is going to be a utopia on the left side of the ideological spectrum. And a right-wing person's utopia is going to be on the right side of the ideological spectrum. But what does that really mean? That means that a left-wing person's dystopia is on the right-wing side, and the right-wing person's dystopia is on the left-wing side. And so therefore, the more of these ideological identities that we put together in a group, in a society, the more conflict you're going to have within that society. But people will band together around these kind of concepts and ideas, and this is where group mentality starts to form, is based on these ideological ideas. This is the basis of where we gain our moral judgment and our sense of ethics. And so I'm excited to explore this further with everybody. I know I didn't do much. I'm sorry this is such a short video. I just needed to get something out there. I will have a much better presentation for you on these 5 aspects and their most extreme ends of the spectrum. We'll have to remember every time we talk about any of this, it's not black or white, it's not A or B, it's not going to be left or right. Everything is in a spectrum, right? So, it's kind of trying to figure out why we have the principles we do, why we have the ideals we do. Oh, principles, that's an idea. So, an ideological principle. The difference between an ideological principle and an ideology. Or, just an ideology, just a regular ideology. Is when you have an ideological principle towards one thing, then it doesn't matter what kind of social group you're in. whether it's between you and your spouse, you and your family, you and your friends, you and your workplace, you and your city, state, government, everywhere. Doesn't matter what side society it is. If it is a principled ideological view, then you will have that viewpoint across all groups that you're in, all societies that you interact with. However, not all ideologies are principled ideologies. So we do have different ideologies for different groups. So different societies will have, you'll expect different things from different societies and things like that. That's where this kind of grows and makes it a little more interesting and makes you truly understand that none of us are really left-wing or right-wing. We're all just people. And we all have a lot of different beliefs and a lot of different structures in a lot of different situations. And I hope my theories on this can help people understand their own points of view and maybe understand another person's point of view, where somebody else might be coming from, and help you to see and understand each other just a little bit better. Because understanding will make society, all society, better. And that was cheesy and lame, but I'm gonna keep it in anyway. That is right. On the next video, we're going to go through the 5 factors and each of the extremes of their spectrum. Then, following that, I'm going to do a deep dive into each one of the factors and look at their spectrums in a bigger, fuller, broader sense to help people get more of an understanding of what it means to be somewhere different on the spectrum and kind of truly start to understand whether or not we are a left-wing person or a right-wing person. So those are all coming. That'll be fun. After that, we might start looking at different groups in society and things like that and trying to just see where they rank, see what type of personalities. Remember, this is all just a theory of mine personally, and it's not even completely 100% fleshed out yet. So any feedback would be great. Any questions I will take and I will answer. It'll be great. I'll do videos of that. But yeah, I hope you're along for the journey and the ride with this. I will have more than just this little icon-y thing up here. I'm going to start building slideshows. I've been trying. I'm going to PowerPoint the hell out of y'all. It'll be fun. Love PowerPoints. Yeah. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. Have fun and enjoy.
Ah!